This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Denman.
Jesse Sandehan.
All right, we are back on. This is Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN. He's Justin Deas. I'm John Denman. We're hanging out with Colton Black and Tom Painter. So, got another song to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Which one is this?
Yeah, you kind of teased it last segment. Fake
Oh,
ID.
Fake ID,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's hear this.
It's a song 15 years in the making.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for a lot of people right now. They might be, they understand this song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a timeless subject.
Well, I mean, it also tells a story.
Yeah.
It starts in the beginning, and then it just,
The
here's
middle
how
and
the
the
night
end.
starts.
Yeah.
Then there's middle, and there's the
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't this a testament to all great country songs, though? That, like, country songs are like old school country, right?
Yeah, tell the
Like,
story.
It's a very complete. It's like story, right?
It finishes.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're reading a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this one ends in a bad place.
Yeah.
Colton, things are gonna turn around.
That's what I said.
They are going to turn. Yeah.
If not, there's another country song there.
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
You got a second album coming.
Yes.
All right, let's listen to the song.
The cooler was looking low, so I decided to make a run. Walked in with my 4-day beard and tried to look 21. I went on to the back of the aisles, my face starting to sweat. Walked back to the front of the store and said, this is what I'm gonna get. I want a 6-pack of Shiner, a case of Coors Light. I want me some Wilder to get us through the night. One bottle of Jaeger, another bottle of Beam. Well, I ain't 21, sir, but here's my fake ID. Then much to my surprise, he rang up on the goods. I turned and hit the doorway as fast as I could. And then a cop with a bright light and a big old shiny badge shined that light right in my eye and said, what you got in the bag? I said, a 6-pack of Shiner, a case of Coors Light. I got me some Wiser to get us through the night. One bottle of Jack, another bottle of Beam. Well, I ain't 21, officer, but here's my fake ID. He took my 6-pack of Shiner, case of Coors Light, and he took my Wiser that was gonna get us through the night. And my bottle of Quavo, my bottle of Beam. Well, I ain't 21, y'all, so he took my fake ID. Well, he took my fake ID. Oh, I need a new fake ID, yeah, and a good lawyer too. Hey, bub, can I get that phone call now, please?
That story.
Everybody has the under 21 drinking story.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
do.
I got a few of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how that. So he grew up in Katy, Texas. And how No Label. We're at. There's like 4 rice dryers.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, a bunch of our friends, they get beer and whatever, and then they would break into the
and climb up them, and that's kind of, I feel like that's almost I mean,
There's a rite of passage, right?
There's more people,
You're Katie?
there's more people that did that than probably not.
I was telling to Shannon Parker, and she told me similar stories because she grew up in Katy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we break into the rice dryers and climb up and like fool around and like get drunk, and it's just kind of like, geez, how many people are going up there? Like, what happens if you ran into Colton?
Maybe
Need a beer?
She did.
Need a fake ID?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
No, but same thing though. Like off of like a lot of people don't know this. Well, I know Jesse does and Jason does and all this, but there used to be like rice dryers. The rice factory was right off of Allen Parkway, in between Allen Parkway and Washington, off of Montrose. And was it Montrose or was it Wall?
I think it was Wall.
I think it was Wall. Yeah. And so that used to be. I got a good friend from middle school over here, Billy. He's shaking his head right now because we spent a lot of time running around in these places under 21.
Oh,
doing,
yeah,
not
sure.
exactly legal 21 things and all
Yeah.
that. Same thing. But it was one of those where probably the same thing where in Katy, you're up, you're high.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's a hole in the ground that drops down like, I don't know, 200 feet, or something. And it's like, just run around having a good time.
Well, historic buildings for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
they haven't been operated
gotta
like 60
hold all
years.
those-
But the thing
remember
was that they didn't think that they should close these things off back then. I mean, there was like free roaming. We just went there, and if you heard other people like, "Oh, let's run,"
Yeah,
it was like we're not supposed to be here, but neither were they.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was just probably your other friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that one we got back from doing a beer run, and we always kind of switched off who had to go in and try to make it happen, and it was always so we'd always be getting so much more than one person looking that young needed at the time, but get 4 cases, 5 cases or whatever, so they'd go and stack them all up, and then we'd be waiting in the car to see whether or not it
worked.
are they going to walk out in shame, or are they going to walk out big boss out there with all the beer? And that night it happened.
Yeah, McLovin.
One of the nights that we were successful. We took all the beer back to my house, and I don't think my mom was home. We went into my room and all started cracking beers, and then I just pulled out the guitar, and that song was about 10 minutes later. All of us, it was done, and everybody was singing it, and it became kind of like an anthem for I'd get people calling me going, I'm in Florida. How do we hear the song? And I'm going, I don't know. Go to YouTube. Maybe it's on there or something. So yeah, like you say, 15 or 16 years in the making.
Yes. How long has music been in your family?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that's before my time.
No, I mean in you.
Oh, and yeah.
Because if you're writing songs right after you got the beer from the gas station.
Yeah.
Something kind of fed that fire.
Yeah, no, I've been writing for a long time, playing music ever since I was little. Constantly surrounded by my brother's older than me, and he played. We had kind of that similar. I don't know if y'all know the story. Eddie and Alex Van Halen. They switched instruments at a young age. We did the same thing. My dad got me a drum set and my brother a guitar, and we had rooms across this hallway, and I never really cared about playing drums, and I kept coming into my room, and my drum heads would all be smashed up and beaten down. I'm going, what is happening here? And I kept doing the same thing. I'd sneak into my brother's room and play his Fender. He got a Fender Strat, and I kept playing that, and then a Christmas or two later, my dad realized he had made a mistake, so he switched us out on instruments, and my brother's been a drummer ever since. So,
That's a good
my dad,
band manager of the dead.
yeah. And my dad played all around Houston and
Yeah.
Katy and around the States, and so it was kind of hard to stay away from it, even if I wanted to. I think my dad would have preferred both of us to become lawyers or something, but you know, he was kind of responsible, I'd say, for us falling into the musician trap.
Yep.
So thanks, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the couple songs that you talked about, you know, I mean, it's the writing process is very like personal to you, but I did wonder, kind
Yeah.
of just, you know, like, if Dad gave you tips, your uncle gave you any kind of like, I mean, what the songwriting process is different than
Yeah.
playing, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, my uncle, he'd like to tell me, Colton, you're going to want to get a real job. Thanks, okay, thanks.
I mean, that honestly is some solid advice.
Yeah. It's a rarity that, you know, it's a rarity that somebody has quite a bit of success, but you know, that's kind of where, you know, every musician is still playing for a reason, and it's because you can't, you know, it's hard to stop. I'd say that would be my heroine is playing, you know, playing the guitar.
Your spins the guitar.
The amount of the amount of times I just pick up the guitar and play in the house, you know. I mean, and sometimes you sit down. I mean, not every song I write is extremely personal. Sometimes I just go, here's an idea, here's a here's a line or here's a hook, and write something around that. But yeah, it just so happens the first two we've been jamming are complete personal songs. So, you know, that's what it is. But
So how long ago did you write this song?
how long ago?
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Would have been 2008,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, I was in high school, so yeah, it would have been 2008 or 2009. But yeah, I mean, high school, and we weren't supposed to be drinking. And as soon as I wrote that song, it was like, all right, we got to keep going and getting more beer. You know, from then on, I mean, my friends.
Song, fellas.
Yeah, it really became like one of those. Anytime we went somewhere, play fake ID, you gotta show them. And you know, maybe because they were all in the room when I'm writing it, you know, so it felt like this big collaboration, even though they were just slamming beers and I'm over there in the corner just going. I mean, it was like 6 or 8 minutes that it was done, and then I go, all right, let's try it out, and I just started jamming. Everybody was
Oh, those are like your first groupies.
yeah. A bunch of my friends, yeah. So that was, but that was a fun one. You know, for years to come, that was kind of always like that anthem between us, you know, and anybody we got around that was friends with us was Fake ID. So that was, it was well worth, you know, kind of the personal experience in that song that I had to end up going through. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, shit, man.
And you ended up in jail.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
hey, alcohol related and moved past that. So
is it harder to or easier to spot a fake ID now than it used to be back in the day? I'm asking you.
Oh, shit. I mean,
we
I
don't.
have no idea. No, I mean, like, some people look young, and then you're just kind of like, can we? Like, there's a lot of that, but hell, the older I get, everyone looks young. I think that's the problem. I'm like, look at this baby. It's like, Tom, that person's 30. Like, oh my God.
It happens.
I was like, everyone just starts to. It's a weird thing happens in life, right? Because like I think you reach a point where everyone looks young, but then also there's this other flip happens where and this is totally off the subject of music, but like where like you have your dad, you have your parents in the world, and like you're a kid, but then at some point like the difference between like if I'm at a bar and I'm talking to a 60-year-old, like the difference when I was 25, there was a big thing in our way, but then you become like 35, 30, like, you know, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're like the same. We're adults with different problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think I kind of got used to being around older people from,
Oh yeah.
you know,
for sure.
playing. Right when I got out of high school, I went and started playing with my dad's band, and so we were playing, you know, at bars and all that, and you know, it's almost everywhere we played was usually 25 plus, you know, so I'm like, 18, 19, drinking of course, but yeah, so I was around nothing but older people for a long time, just playing shows, and so it was. I don't feel as kind of like what you're saying, the big gap. I don't feel like even when I was younger, like there was some giant gap, because I just got used to hanging out.
Well, to what you're saying though, Tom, is looking up at the gap, not really a big deal, but looking down at the gap, all of a sudden I'm like, man, that kid's like 15 years old. It's like, no, man, that kid's 35. It's just like, have you checked that ID?
Yeah.
No, man, you don't need to.
Yeah, but at some point there's a great equalizer. Like, we have a mutual buddy like Rodney Campbell, and Rodney he'll talk about Colton. He'd be like, man, Colton got some good pipes, and because now you're just like looking at talent,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And Colton does have good pipes. Also, Colton can hold a crowd, and he can talk to a crowd. Speaking from experience, the No Label. Mm-hmm. Remember that time I had you out there for 5 hours?
Oh yeah, yeah.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, 5 hours,
So-
a 5-hour set.
The minimum is a 3-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Springsteen's only like 3.5 hours. Come
Yeah.
on.
And like live music is, we're talking about this about ChatGPT and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff, but it can't replace live music. And for us at the brewery, like like sunshine, crowds there, live music, and there's this day that Colton had the crowd. Like you're talking about when No Label, when the yard's full, we're talking about like hundreds and maybe 1,000 people. He has the crowd. And the second he stopped, like it just started bleeding away, and I was like, no. And I'm
Get back up there.
I'm going up to Colton. I was like, hey man, if I can give you a little bit more money, play an extra hour. It's like Colton's like, well, I've been like, all right, I'll do it, and then I'm like, yes. And then once hour 4 was over, like I'm like, it all starts to bleed again. I was like, oh shit. Go to Colton.
Yeah.
I was like, Colton, listen. It's like, he's like, man, I've been drinking all these beers and I'm running out of music to play.
Yeah,
and
all Hefe's coming through.
Start from the beginning.
And then,
Yeah.
and then hour 5 hit. I'm like, oh no. So I go back up to Colton, and I'm like, hey man. He's like, Tom, I can't take any of your money. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
My hands hurt.
Yeah, I'm going, man. Yeah, and I'm not.
I can't feel my fingers.
I'm pretty bad about. I'm usually not great. If there's a good crowd, I'm really bad about taking a break. So usually when I do stuff like that, I end up playing like 3 hours or 4 hours without getting down, and then I go, damn. And but
it goes
yeah,
by fast.
yeah. I mean, I give a massive amount of credit to kind of the crowd work, I guess, to my dad, because watching him do it, he's phenomenal at it. And so I picked up some of it, and yeah, it.
I mean, you talk to him, you engage with them.
Yeah.
And you hold them.
You can go and play good music, but there's a difference between just playing good music and then also getting people involved, and getting them to laugh and getting them to engage with the whole thing, and it makes it a better experience, not just for them but for me.
for you
Like
as
it's much better for me to sit there and feel like I'm almost playing a private thing with some friends than it does just showing up and nobody cares what's happening, and you're just playing and waiting, counting the minutes till it's over. So it's a win-win if I can entertain the crowd and entertain myself, and have them kind of help.
It's like making love to a woman.
Yeah, it's just
you just
like
want
it.
some active participation.
just like making love.
You want someone to be involved.
Just making love to the
Every once in a
crowd.
while, just like put the book down, and pay attention. All right, on that note, let's take a break. This is Battle Voices Radio. We'll be right back.
End it on there.
Through the night, and my bottle of Quavo, my bottle of bean. Well, I ain't 21.
This is Vinyl Voices, brought to you by Adley Law Firm, Houston's personal injury attorneys for 30 years.
Well, he took my fake eye.